Part 6, Invasions, Destructions, chart number 49. I stated previous that in time of Ramayana history, it was time of peace. There were no wars. When they were writing this Ramayana and doing it, there were no wars with nobody. And I want to make it clear that they have the Mahabharata, they're talking about an 18 days war and so much millions died. They continue to harp on that and they don't have no knowledge what they're talking about. They had no wars in those days. And if from last video, you will know that it was a sporting event. And Hindus have that practice even up to now. As soon as they get a little time, they keep some session, some music or something. So we have that practice still with me. So what you have there, that is what, and they refer to that in the Mahabharata as a war going on. Because it's all sports. Sports is a war, you know. Working is a war, writing is a war. So these things are presented as war, and the Hindus come and take this metaphorical version and presenting it as actual history. All right? Now, in time of Bible history, it was and is times of invasions and destructions. So from the time you touch Bible history, now the literal history, that is after the 12,000 years. But anyway, we're starting from 550 BC. This research is concentrated on timeline of 37 CE to 77 CE, based on Roman invasions of India, 40 years. Now, I will advise everybody, Hindus or everybody, to go to Maccabees in the book of Maccabees in the Bible and read it. And I'm going to explain to you what is Maccabees. Now, Christian historians chose books of Maccabees to promote present-day Jews as God-chosen people in Bible. In Bible, Jews were Hindus and Israel was India. Jews did not, they just spring on the scene just so. People not paying attention to it. Now, Christian historians had no knowledge of times presented in Bible. This is where the error is. Now, if you go in the Bible, you will see many times in Maccabees there. And they print it out, they put 137 years. Now, 137 years simply meant if you go to the Rajas formula here. See the Rajas formula? What the Hindus authors are telling you, that they are presenting 37 years. He's starting from 37 years to present this history. And is presenting the one in front that you are in the first division. So the Christians had no knowledge of that. So what they do, they took this 137 years and transfer it to 137 years BC, and they create a civilization for Jews. This is what they have done. Now, people must go and inquire, how did they do that? And how did people accept this? Christian historians presented Book of Maccabees as Jewish history from 1st century BC to 2nd century BC. Christian historians were fooled by Raja's formula. This formula that they presented, they had no knowledge of it. Okay? Question, if Greeks wrote Maccabees, how is it that they have no knowledge of it? Such as dates. Greeks have no knowledge of that. They never wrote it. Now, I'm going to the one Maccabees there, and what I'm doing here, I am filling the gap from the 12,000 years to come down to the present time from Siddhantic calendar. I don't know why the Hindus don't display their Siddhantic calendar. We have that calendar from 13,500 years BC. So I'm going to present that gap there. Now, Luke 2:42, and when he became 12 years old, we discussed that. 12 years old, he's talking about Jesus 12 years old, which is Ram, 12 years old in the horse sacrifice festival. Right? Now, you go to Luke 3:1. Now, in the 15th year of the government of Tiberius Caesar, when they check 15 years, and you go to Isaiah 65:20, tell you a year is 100 years. So 15 years will be 1,500 years here. This is what is presented. So 1,500 years will take you to 13,500 years, zero. This is where we get the zero there, okay? So we are at 0 C, and we are 13,500 years. So now we proceeding with the 37 years here now, right? Right. Um, Now, in the book of Maccabees, they present a 40 years, 37 years, 37 to 77 years. So we're dealing with this area here from the 0 to 77 years, okay? Now, this time is called the Exodus. And this is always another history for people to understand. And this Exodus took place in 1st century. This is not 1600, what the Christian scholars fool everybody and mislead everybody to say, well, 1600, they had a person called Moses. I will tell you who is Moses here and who is leading the Jews. Hear what happened in Acts 7:36. He led them out of Egypt and performed wonders and signs in Egypt, at the Red Sea, and for 40 years in the wilderness. Now, this is making reference to Moses. Who is Moses? Moses, in this context, making reference to this character named Vespasian. He was the emperor of Rome. And it's him that this verse is referring to. He led them out of Egypt and performed wonders and signs in Egypt. Right? They're referring to him as Moses. Now, Moses, Vespasian, spoke to Hindus that he will be their prophet, God. He led Hindus through Egypt, Red Sea, wilderness for 40 years. This is the Exodus. Acts 7:35. Then this Moses, that is him they're talking about, whom they refused, saying, who appointed you a ruler and a judge? This one God has sent us both a ruler and a redeemer, along with the hand of the angel who appeared to him in the thorn bush. 7:39. To him our fathers were not willing to become obedient, but thrust him away and turned in their hearts to Egypt. Hindus rejected him as their God. So this is what these two verses say in here. So, okay. Now, we are Maccabees 1:10 to 11 present 37C. So 37C, we started to move from 13,500 to 37C. We are now at 13,537 years, right? A group of Hindu traitors appeared on side of Roman pagans, cannibals. Always remember, there's one shortage Hindus have: traitors. They never have a shortage of traitors. So from beginning, it's showing you that traitors are ingrained into the Hindu system. No matter what you do, the foot cannot be anchored. And we have them up to this present time, right? Now, in 1 Maccabees 54, 55 is present 45C. We're going to 45C. Verse describes Romans as a dreadful rat that visited India. What this shows is that historians copied from Maccabees and Bible to create a history for origin of Jews in 1st century BC and 2nd century BC. Now, there's a verse that here in, I think it's 154. Romans set up awful horror on temple in India. You see, all these entities that is mentioned in both Ramayana and Bible, no one knows what awful horror is up to now. You never hear anybody talk about awful horror, but it's stated in the Bible. Now, what is this awful horror? And Romans set up that on the Hindu temples in India. Awful horror. What it is? Reject Hindu laws, accept pagan practices, cannibalism. Christians and Muslims came to India to teach Hindus how to eat people. So there where you have it now, that the Hindus went out to teach them to stop eating people. And now they returned to India now in the 1st century and killing and eating them, you know. So this is what you have in Maccabees. So read that and you will understand the history, because the Hindus don't even know the Romans occupy India. I think I made that statement before on the same program. All right. 51C shows Hindus escape from Romans, right? In 51C, they'll show you a Hindu priest, meaning a pundit. His name is Alcimus, converted to Greek. He became a traitor. You're never short of traitors in Hinduism, okay? Then you go 52C. 52C shows Romans set up camp in India. They show them demolishing temples in India. That's it. Muslims and Christians, that is their work. Yeah, nice people. I refer to them as I refer to them as peace and love and peace. These are the people we call peace and love. That's what they're traveling with that. One is peace and one is love. All right. In 69 CE, Second Maccabees 1:7 present a character by the name of Demetrius became king. Now you have to understand the metaphors here. Demetrius is making reference to Vespasian was appointed emperor in the first of the 7th, 69 CE. All right? '71 CE, Roman triumph. 1 Maccabees 1351, 71 CE. It was a celebration in Rome. This was Roman triumph to honor Vespasian and Titus. Now, in that Roman triumph, the Hindus make a story there turning water into wine. I don't know if you ever heard about that. Jesus turning water. Right. Well, what it meant is John 2:8, that they had taken water to Vespasian, him. They honoring him. This is the Roman triumph. Take water. What does it mean? I explain water all the time. Mean lie. A metaphor, untruth. Right? So taking lies to Vespasian. What was the lies they telling Vespasian? That he is God in Bible scripture. He is the Messiah. And in the verse after he said that Vespasian drank the water and it turned into wine. What is it telling you there? 24 Hindus, the authors are telling him the truth, that he is not God in our scripture. So this is how you get the truth, that he cannot be God in our scripture. The Bible is a Hindu book, right? Now 77 CE, I'll go to 77 CE. That is the 1 Maccabees 15:10. No, that's 74 CE. 77 is 16:14, right? Verses describe execution of 24 Hindus of Bible. All right? So this is the timeline, 37 CE to 77 CE, which they refer to as the Exodus, where they took the Hindus. They continued to take them to Rome because they were building Rome. You understand? Now in 77 CE, they have a nice verse here. People should go to it and try to understand it. 1:3, Deuteronomy 1:3. It refers to the 40th year. 40th year is 77 CE. They're making reference to that. What is saying? And the first day of the month, meaning the first division, meaning the first century, end of 40 years of Hindu exiles. I have one or two things there, but we can, I can call that off there, and you can, if you have any questions, you can present.